Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States for remembrance of people who died in military service. For Memorial Day 2017, the Anonymous Patriots ask you to join us in remembering those who died fighting a war that has yet to be named. It includes the smaller wars with names we know like World War I and II, Korea, and Vietnam. But there is a much greater war that could not be identified or named until enough time had passed and we could see a clear timeline of what was happening to the citizens of the world and who our enemy really is. Patriots of the world, we have been fighting a war between we the people and the deep state. The war started decades ago as the central banks usurped the power of the United States Treasury by creating the Federal Reserve, a private money-printing haven that the banks used to create their wealth. The central bankers used our land, our livelihoods, and our lives to fill their coffers from the profits generated when heroes spilled their blood in their fields, whether in Normandy, LaGrange Battle, Afghanistan, Benghazi, or New York City. Their wars would never stop because the real business of the central banks is the business of war. In order to keep their profits coming in, they had to sell products, bullets, guns, chemicals, bombers, uniforms. They needed customers with a product or service need, so they created enemies for us to oppose and used false flags to terrorize us. Citizens paid for the military-industrial complex to keep us safe, but we were actually feeding the beast that has been killing us. Knowing that we would never agree to unlimited war, they fed us dreams of hope and victory. All the while they were filling our water with fluoride to dumb us down, while watering down our educational system. They poisoned our land, suppressed free energy, rigged the markets, and precious metals. They hid their real intentions of culling our worldwide population to 500 million. They brazenly carved their plans for the New World Order on the Georgia Guidestones. Our food no longer nourishes us as it is stripped of vitality due to genetic modification and irradiation. They spray chemicals down on us like we're vermin that need to be exterminated. They force our babies to be injected with a horrific cocktail of mercury, aluminum, MSG, and formaldehyde, which they euphemistically called vaccinations. And when the war profits weren't enough, the central bankers, deep state, started taking over the healthcare and pharmaceutical industries. To keep this business profitable, they make sure we stay sick and only use their medicines, doctors, and hospitals for treatment. They use entertainment and fake news, keeping most citizens distracted, uninformed, and confused. They marginalize the heroes who speak out, calling them conspiracy theorists. When labels don't work anymore, they censor our social media or cut off our advertising revenue streams. When those tactics don't work, they resort to assassination. In their modern, feudal system, the central bank's deep state use the IRS as their collection henchmen and write special rules for themselves to preserve their wealth. They use the FBI to shield them from investigations, and the Department of Justice protects them from prosecution. They use the CIA and its network of private intelligence contractors to keep a big brother eye on us. They conned us into the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time, which, like all Ponzi schemes, will come crashing down. Our social security system, stock and derivative markets, pension and retirement funds, and healthcare are all Ponzi schemes that will wipe out the wealth of millions of Americans. If you aren't awake yet, you need to stop hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock. The deep state is not only the domestic enemy of Americans, it is also the enemy of any sovereign nation in the world. If you don't do as they say, They will use their mercenaries, CIA, intelligence agencies, private contractors, and rogue factions of the FBI and military to bring your country to its knees, rape your homeland of its bounty and resources, and enslave your children to its debt yoke. There have been thousands of heroes in our war. There was the recent hero, Seth Rich, who was trying to tell us about the corruption he saw in our political system. There was H.P. Heidner's group, which had completed extensive research on oil cartels, dirty banking deals, and the CIA, only to find their exact Pentagon offices hit by a missile on 9/11, killing them and destroying their work. Don't forget our heroes, sons and daughters who lost their lives and limbs as they were forced to protect the deep state's poppy fields and opium markets. The victims of this great war are the soldiers that we send who shed blood on foreign lands, women who are enslaved and raped in their human trafficking networks, and thousands of children tortured in their pedophilia blackmail operations. God rest our souls if these crimes alone don't wake us up to evil with every breath we have. Some say that this has now become an information war. If so, we say that the way to win the information war is to attack the enemy from a higher level or position. It isn't good enough to have information anymore. If we want to defeat the deep state, we need intelligence. We don't want the fake intelligence that the rogue intelligence agencies use against citizens as legal propaganda. We need deeply researched citizen intelligence that can be used immediately for the arrests and prosecutions of the real traitors and enemies of our country, the deep state, the globalists, the central banks, the CIA, the evil, whatever names you know evil as, can only have power over us if we let them. Evil exists where shadows are long, the light is dim, there is no transparency, and secrets are protected. We, the anonymous patriots, do not accept this anymore. Please join us in whatever way you feel best to demonstrate, in a peaceful but highly efficient manner, your unwillingness to participate in their blood-sucking, life-killing, wealth-hoarding machinations. Wake up and say no. If you haven't educated yourself about who our enemy is, please start reading the citizen intelligence reports that we have provided you at the American Intelligence Media. The link in the description box below will take you to a comprehensive list of well-researched, verifiable material. On Memorial Day 2017, honor the men and women who have fought the deep state leviathan of evil, knowingly or not. Do your homework and demand that the traitors be immediately arrested, then tried. If they are found guilty, then the full force of the law needs to be applied without prejudice of their former fame, positions, or wealth. We believe we have enough citizens' evidence to make a case for any grand jury. What do you think? What can you do? Do it.